Okay, I'm Jim, and welcome to Trailgrazers. And Pam and I've switched roles. I'm going to be on the flat top grill. So we're going to be making a meal. We're looking at the idea of freeze drying some hamburger and some onion for the trail. And we'll go ahead and get started from that point. Okay, so what we need to do is put a little bit of oil on the grill. Just get things going a little bit. Be able to go ahead and get things greased up. And I'm going to go ahead and I've cut a 10-pound log of hamburger. And we got this at, what was the name of the place? It was US Foods and Chef Store. I'm going to go ahead and cut it up. And the heat is on low heat. And I will go ahead and put the onions on in a couple of minutes. One of the things I want to be able to do is go ahead and get the residue off when it occurs. That way we won't have to fight so hard on it. I'm combining it now. Okay, we're back. We're almost done with the meat itself. And what we need to do is we need to make sure that the meat is completely done along with the onions. And once that occurs, we're going to go ahead and put the meat into the freeze dryer trays. Let the meat cool off. And then we'll go ahead and put it in the freeze dryer, and it'll probably take 30 hours or something like that. I also need to go ahead and put some spice on it, and we'll end up using Montreal steak sauce. So here's the Montreal steak sauce, steak powder, rub, and that should be enough. And again, kind of squeezing it down a little bit through the slotted spoon. And it looks like most of the grease has been taken care of. Okay, we're done with the meat cooling, and what we're going to do is, and this is again 5 pounds of hamburger with onions, and we've made it kind of thin, so it'll take a shorter period of time to go ahead and freeze dry. And the freeze dryer that we have is a medium freeze dryer, and hopefully, again, it should take probably about 24 hours. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go outside, and we'll meet you in the Kelvin lab. We're about ready to go ahead and start with the freeze drying process. We'll have to go ahead and close the drain as it says, which means we have to reach in, and I will do that with the little toggle switch. What we'll do is we'll just go ahead and open this up and place our burger in each of the shelves. Okay, all right, and we'll close this, tighten it down, and it says continue, so what we'll do is go ahead and continue, and it is in process of freezing now. So when this is done, sometime probably in the next 24 to 30 hours, we'll come out and we'll go ahead and pull these out and go to the next step. Okay, we're back. And we're looking we're going to go ahead and finish this process for our freeze-dried hamburger. And it finished late last night, and it took about 28 hours. And one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fill the jars, our half-gallon jars, with the hamburger, the freeze-dried hamburger. But a couple of things before we get started. You'll notice that as we look at the hamburger, it's much lighter. It's darker than what it was when it came off of the flat top. And it's much lighter, as I suggested a few moments ago. But the other thing is, you'll notice that this particular pan is missing a bunch of the hamburger. We've done some experimenting, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So the first thing I want to be able to do is go ahead and start this process of doing a vacuum on our hamburger. So one of the ways we can do this is put it in our funnel like this. And as we pour it in, we have to make sure we don't get it all over yeah, I'm kind of sloppy like that sometimes. This larger opening for the funnel makes it much easier as opposed to a smaller one. And you can pack it down. And I think that's about all it's going to take. It's not going to finish the rest of it. Adapter on for the wide mouth jars. Put the adapter in and turn it on and go to accessory. Now we can't detach everything until we hear the buzzer, so I'll detach, and pull off the adapter for the vacuum. Okay, and we also have another 5 pounds of hamburger that we can add to this, that we plan on adding to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and not vacuum seal this. We will vacuum seal that when we get the other 5 pounds done. In our experiment, what we wanted to find out was that if we end up looking at the idea of putting in an unmeasured amount of water with an unmeasured amount of meat, that the meat will only absorb the amount of water that the cellular structure of the meat will allow. And with this, we ended up doing the odd amount. We did that, and I put this in the microwave for 30 seconds. It was nice and hot, and what we can do is pour it off. And the taste of this is just as good as it was or would have been when we ended up taking it off the griddle. or off the flat top. So it tastes good, it's soft, it's rehydrated. We ended up having a camera glitch. Pam found that as she was editing the video that she found a camera glitch, and the following is what was missing. So we ended up looking at the idea of showing 2 meals and the sloppy joes and the taco meat. And the sloppy joes, we ended up adding 20 grams of meat, 20 grams of diluted barbecue sauce, 1/4 teaspoon of ketchup, 1/4 teaspoon of mustard, and a pinch of garlic chips. We microwaved it twice and added a little more diluted sauce, and then it was really good. And then the video picks up. Okay, we ended up putting it back into the microwave for another 30 seconds with our diluted Dave's Famous sauce. And this is what it looks like. And one of the things I normally do is I take a small bite as opposed to a large bite. The large bite is very overpowering. I can taste the sauce. It is very nice. And the garlic, I think we have garlic in there, is also just a little subtle.
How's the meat?
The meat is good.
Is it soft?
It is soft. There's no crunch to it. So we need to make sure that we end up letting it sit for a while. In this process, it takes about 10 minutes for the sauce, the diluted sauce, to be able to go ahead and soften up the meat along with being in the microwave. And again, I had 2 separate sessions in the microwave of 30 seconds each. So again, we're looking at this idea of being able to add different flavorings to the meat as it rehydrates. And again, we're looking at the idea of a 1-to-1 ratio. So with the taco sauce or the taco meat, we again have 20 grams of meat, and then we end up having 20 grams of water with a teaspoon of seasoning. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and mix it in. And I need a spoon. Mix it around. And again, we need to remember that the meat will absorb only as much as it will absorb because of the cellular structure. Let's put it in the microwave and see what happens. And again, it looks like the water has absorbed into the meat and the flavor into the meat. Let's take a taste. It's still a little crunchy. We'll need to put it back in. And this looks kind of dry, so we need to probably put in a little more water. But let me taste it. Yeah, it's pretty dry. So I'm going to add some more water to it. Looks like that might be too much water. Excuse me. So let's let it sit for a couple of minutes and see if the meat is able to absorb more of the water. So this is what our most recent microwave 30-second looks like. And again, we have some juice still in it. And what we need to remember again is that in the real world, we looked at the idea of the 1-to-1, but we may need to adjust that 1-to-1 to adding a little bit more of the liquid. And again, let me taste it, see what it's like. And if I were going to add more, I'd probably add a little more of the taco sauce or taco seasoning, just a pinch, to give it just a little bit more flavor. But what we've come up with at the end of this whole process is that taking freeze-dried meat out on camping trips with us is really convenient. It also gives us that no refrigeration. It's lightweight. We can use it in a variety of different ways. So we're really excited about all of this, and we were happy to be able to go ahead and share this with you, and we'll see you out on the trail.